Yo, what's going on guys? I'm here with another video. I got a request from Hectic Nova on YouTube. They asked me to do a video about Samira combos versus specific matchups, and they meant it in a way versus like tanks or bruisers, assassins, mages. But it's a little bit complicated because very often you're looking at a specific 1v1 or enemy comp to look at like how you should play and what you should do. If you are new to Samira or like a beginner, I promise you that you can learn a lot from this video. It's going to be like educational. I'm going to give you some good info and tips on Samira combos and how to play. I've seen some videos out there and they show you like some flashy combo that doesn't even really make any sense, like you never use this. I'm going to give you a realistic point of view of how to play Samira and how most combos would look like in your games, or how they should look like. Something you have to realize about Samira that she isn't really that complicated. Most combos are pretty straightforward. It isn't really like a complex combo where you have to hack the mainframe and flash and do an EQ with another flash and then you hack the cooldown and do another W. No, it's just most of the time you're doing the same combo, to be honest. I will start off with saying that in most combos, most fast combos, the main combo, it's key that you hit your W twice. If you didn't notice, W has two parts to it, where the first proc hits and the second proc hits, as you saw right there. But if you E in the middle, you will get 3 stacks from it, because it will be a W into an E into a W. So like this. As you can see there, that was 3 stacks total, which is needed for the fast combo. This will always be the fastest way to build up your combo points, because if you don't do this, you're missing out on a stack. Which puts me at the fast combo, which is, imagine these are tanks, these are frontliners, maybe this is a Kha'Zix, or he jumps on you. The fastest combo you can do, and the combo you will mostly do versus most melee champions, bruisers, tanks that are already on you, is an auto attack into a WEW, Q in the middle, and another auto attack. So I'm gonna just show it right here. Auto attack, W, EQ, W, auto attack. I can't really do it slower than that. That's as obvious as I can do it. I'll put text during the video to like explain what I'm doing. But if you do that combo a little bit faster, it would look like something like this. That's pretty much the fastest combo you can do. If the first target is not in range, let's say this is a mage and you can't hit the first W, what you could do is like auto attack into a flash, and then do the same combo W, E, Q, W, which would just look like this. It looks complicated, but it's not. Trust me, it's not. You just have to get used to this one combo where you hit a W into an EW, and you just always pretty much pair E with Q to get like the little drag. But that is a combo you have to learn. If an assassin jumps on you, like a Kha'Zix or an Akali or a Zed, that's the combo you need to be doing. Ideally, of course, you can try and W an ability from their part, but more often than not, that is the combo you will be doing. Next thing I want to talk about on Samira is like gap closing. If you don't really have a gap closer, what do I mean with that? Imagine these are like minions. Of course, this is not what minions look like, but and this is like a long range poke mage. Let's say this is an Ahri. So you're like, okay, how do I get in range? Because I mean, if I walk towards the Ahri, she will just walk away while throwing Qs in my mouth, and that's not good. So you can use the minions. Like, imagine these are minions. I could like place them a little bit better so they look more like minions. And imagine the Ahri is like over there. What you can always do is you can like pretend you're just CSing or whatever, and you just randomly E forward into almost melee range of the Ahri, and then you just start trading with her. You can auto, you can Q, and ideally, if you're playing into a mage with CC like an Ahri, you want to attempt to W the charm, because if you W their stun, that's the best value you can get like from your kit to get the best trade going. Because obviously if you're stunned, you can't fight back. If you are really bad at timing W, you could just EQ forward, hit her, W, and as soon as the W goes down, so your safety thing is gone, you do like a little sidestep down or like up, because they won't, if they charm into your W, great, you probably already won the trade. If they're holding E because they're good at the game, you have to try and sidestep it. It's like your only play pretty much, which would just look like this. I mean, it's not that complicated. And you just walk like slightly down, and then if they miss it, you can like keep going aggro because you have your Conqueror stacked, you can win, stuff like that. And this is mostly how you be playing Samira mid if you're playing it like me. EQ forward using minions, W preferably hitting them, but if you can W a charm or like a stun, that's really, really good. And more often than not versus mages, you are short trading like that. You can even like EQ for W and just start pathing backwards behind your own minions so they can like charm you or like stuff like that. Because you already did most of your damage. When you done your combo and you don't have ult, let's say you're pre-level 6, that's most of your damage done. You can keep auto-attacking, but sitting there auto-attacking while you get hit by their spells is usually not great. Also, Flash is always your best friend when you're playing Samira if you're playing it in a solo lane. But even if you're not playing in the solo lane, flash is really, really important. I always say that sometimes it's not even worth flashing. If someone is like 0-6, it's not even worth the gold you're getting, because flash is so good on Samira. So one of the most basic combos when you're versus a long range mage, again, if this is like an Ari or whatever, sometimes they let you trade and you get like an EQ off. This is pretty much all you need to all in or like get a full combo off, because all you need to do now is EQ into an auto attack, into a W, into an R. What I did there was I cancelled out my W with R. You can do that if you have to get the ult off as fast as possible. You can sit there and wait for the second W because you are missing out a little bit of damage. But normally you want to get your ult off as fast as possible, so cancelling the W animation can be pretty important. I'm going to show you again that you can cancel the W by just doing this. Really watch the W here. So WR. As you can see there, you didn't even really see the W. It's like a magic trick. Another combo you can do versus long range mages, or if the target is far away, you need 2 stacks for this, ideally, preferably 3, but let's say you have 3 stacks or 2, 1, 2, you can pre-channel W here, flash EQ, and then the W will fall down on them, and then all you need to do is another auto attack for an ult. So again, what I did there is Q auto attack, W, let's say they throw something at you, you don't need to be in range for that, maybe they throw the charm, you W, then you EQ flash, and the W will hit them at the end. I don't think it hit Derek, because I was too busy talking, but... So to just say that one more time, imagine you get one auto off, one Q off, they throw a charm at you, I W it, flash EQ, W lands, auto attack ult. Now you're on them, you W their charm, their stun ability, and now you're on like a mage. Of course, if you don't have flash, you have to do that like manually, you just have to like walk in and EQ them. But that's a way where you can like W defensively and still get a stack off by like E-ing after the fact, or like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't always go for like a W into an EW. I do want to mention though that very often Wing something on Samira is a bait. For example, if this is an Ari and she's just throwing a Q at me, I would rarely W that because there's no real point. Like a W and E, that's a lot of value because it's a stun, but missing out on W damage, a W stack, to just block like an REQ is usually not worth it. It's also a really long cooldown. You have to keep in mind this is 30 seconds, so to block an ability that's on like a 6-second cooldown is not a worth trade pretty much ever. For some flashy stuff that you can do, let's say this guy is 1 HP, what you could do is EQ into a flash. It's like a cool combo you can do. It looks flashy, it's not really that useful. It could be useful if everyone's like 1 HP or like... So again, to say that you can EQ into a flash, and it will both hit E and the Q. It looks cool, it's not that useful though, but you can do it. Another thing you can do on Samira, this is pretty, I mean this can be important, but this is kind of just to take away a little bit of reaction time from the enemy, but it's a Q into a flash, because if you flash first and then Q, they kind of just flash when you flash, but you can do a Q flash instead. Just so you press the Q and then you flash, and you see how if I'm standing here, that Q will never reach, right? So it's because of the flash, it like goes from after the flashing point to extend the range. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Might help to get like some reaction time away when someone's like really low. It's as simple as that. A bit more cooler mechanic that you can do, which is the same, but it's the Q form, is you can Q something and flash towards a direction, and the melee Q will go towards where you flashed. So I'm gonna be aiming here, but flashing here, and my melee Q will hit this guy only. It will kind of look like this, which is a pretty cool mechanic as well. I've personally never gotten a kill like that, but that would be kind of cool if you do. For something random about Samira, also obviously, if you didn't notice already, you can use E as a dash over walls to get away from people or to catch people off guard. I've gotten many kills like this where someone is like pathing away. Maybe they're running because they saw you coming from a ward here. And just walking here would like never get you this kill. So what you could do is you press behind the Gromp, and when you're very close to the camp, you just press E. And that's, you can catch like someone off guard, or like, you know, it's pretty simple. You can do this with pretty much any camp. You can do it also to escape from people. There's a lot of like camp stuff that you can do. Again, imagine there's like a bad guy right here. He's running after me. He's very evil. And what you can do is just do this, and that's how you can get away from someone that you normally maybe wouldn't get away from. You can obviously also use enemies. This is very important when you're playing Samira mid. Very often, I'm gonna start with this one because this is very obvious, but sometimes when a guy is on you, for example, this is a jungler, and he's hitting me already, he's in melee range, and this is my safety point, sometimes the best thing to do is walk back into them to get an E angle to get the most distance, because Eing away from someone is more distance than you can get by just running away, if that makes sense. So it's a bit weird like that. So if this guy, let's say he's like pathing this way, and I'm pathing this way to run away, you could do a slight step back into this, and now you have way more distance as if you would just run away. Sounds simple, but this will save you a lot, I promise. You can obviously also use it into a wall. Imagine this guy is chasing you because he's very mean, he's ganking your lane. He's like, yo, let me get this Samira real quick. Slight step back into an E will get you over most walls. Okay, now for something that I get constantly comments like, yo, you can E over turrets. Yes, you can actually E over turrets. You don't need anything but a turret to use your E. This is really good for split pushing if you're getting plates, but also imagine this guy is 1 HP. Hang on, I need turret immunity. And you would think like, oh, this is so obvious, but I promise you I've killed so many master and diamond players like this because they like read the save for the wave and they don't know you can just E over a turret. You can just E over this. It's very simple. If this guy's 1 HP and he's standing really far back, you can just like E and then you kill him and then you just walk out that way. It can be a bit risky if the jungler's there, but you can get a lot of kills this way. You can pair this with the EQ combo as well, like I said earlier, because you can even EQ, even if it's only the turret, you can for some reason Q, it's kind of cool. It's like EQ into a flash, you can do weird combos like that they might not expect. You can also do the same with an inhibitor. You can exactly E over this as long as you just do it from there to there, you have to stand a bit close. One thing to keep in mind when dashing to turrets though is that you have to be just close enough to get over it, because I think this one, see, that just only got me towards there, but if I do it from like here, that goes completely over it. So keep that in mind when you go for something like this. One key thing about Samira as well that you always have to keep in mind every single game is that you need to figure out where are your old counters. Imagine if this is like a Volibear and this is an, I don't know, like a Zeri, and this is, I don't know, some random dude with no CC. Could be anyone. Normally, very often you're building stacks of just the front line, because you don't always need to do a complicated combo until you have like a few stacks, and then you can just EQR in. But something you will do very often is you ult and then you flash away from the target that has CC, because that might be the Volibear. As long as you still stay in range with the carries, that flash has a lot of value. Like getting away from the guy that can stun you and cancel your ult to give you like a full ult off into the team is pretty important. I feel like a lot of people don't know this, because I mean, if you just go in there, you just you're like, okay, here we go, let's get it, yo, fast combo, bada bing, bada boom, and you can insta stun. So pre-flashing a stun to get away from their stun is a really big important thing on Samira. For the like trick shotters out there, what you can do is your coin, your little passive thing, can give you a stack. This is, you can implement this in combos, but this is then you're purely playing for fun. In a good elo, that doesn't really work, and you're kind of taking up an animation from an auto attack. So like you could do this, coin into a flash fast combo. It would kind of look like this. But the coin did 1 damage, and instead I could just legit do an auto attack instead. And it's just more damage, so there's no real point to ever do that, but you could do it if you find that fun, I guess. One thing I want to mention as like a last topic is that very often you're just building combo points off the front line. This could be a Volibear running at your team, maybe there's like, I don't know, an Alistar or a Rel or literally anyone here like CCing this guy. Like sometimes you're legit out there just Q auto attacking, kiting back, waiting for the right moment until you have enough stacks to go in. There's no point using W unless like maybe a Seraphine ult comes in, or like, you know, like you don't W just for damage on the front line when you're about to team fight. But you could just build stacks off the front line until you have enough. And when you do have enough and you feel like it's the right time to go in, you can like W into an EQ flash into an ult, flash away from their CC into the back line. Most games you'll just be building stacks off the enemy front line and not even really doing a combo. The most basic and most common teamfight for Samira is probably just auto Q, auto Q, auto Q until you have enough to go in, and then you just W EQ into an R, into a reset, into another reset, into a pentakill. Yup. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about this video. Thank you guys for watching. If you thought it was helpful or just enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you do have any questions, don't be afraid to ask them in the comments. I respond to every single comment.